this
I,
Benicio.
I enjoyed when they pulled him over. And he's opening his shirt like this and like dancing and sashaying back towards them.
Have you had anything to drink?
A few small beers. Fucking love
that.
that.
That was probably that was a great scene. I love that scene. It was hilarious.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is our first bonus episode. If you're watching this when it comes out, the Academy Awards are this Sunday, so we decided we would do an episode talking about the 10 nominees for Best Picture. We have Kim DeLuca on with us. She's my friend from high school, and Kim and I have been going to see the Best Picture nominees together. I should say we did do that because COVID kind of has put a big damper on that, but we did it from 2008 till 2019 or something, or actually I think we went in 2020. It was like 3 weeks before the shutdown was the last time we did one.
Wow.
And because AMC used to do the Best Picture Showcase, I think this is the first year they resumed it. So Kim and I have been doing this together for a long time, just never in podcast form. So welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to have you on. As soon as Alex and I talked about even doing this, I'm like, well, Kim's got to be on. She's willing, so
he did. He talked about it right
Alex
away.
Was or not, but
that's true.
Also, for our audience, I ran this joke by Sarah. She said I'm allowed to say it. Kim is the second woman that I married. Because and Logan goes, what? When I said that, when I asked Sarah about it, and I was like, yeah, I married her. And she's like, he's like, what? And I'm like, I married her and her husband. I was the officiant. He goes, so you're in a throuple with them?
Without a lot of context, the initial part that sounds like Mad Men. Where Don Draper is like married but not married to the actual dude that he took his dog tags and assumed his entire identity. At first that's kind of how this sounded, and I was like, I bet you she has a kid and no husband if that's where this is going. But it is a pleasure to meet another person that spends time with Mike creatively. It's also a pleasure to be in the audience of another Italian. So we have all three of us together.
Yes.
She is an Italian, but that is her married name. So
hey, Italian by insertion is still the same thing.
I'm actually Italian. My maiden name is Checky, so it's all the same thing. So
it ends in the same vowel mine does. Mike is the only one who doesn't look like an Italian on paper, and I don't look like it in person. So
I don't look like it in person. Anyway,
it is a pleasure to be here. We all have seen, audience, the Academy Award nominees. There were these are Best Picture nominees. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
And there are a total of 10 of them. Some of us finished them just recently. Some of us finished them a while ago. Some of us, like me with F1, I watched it a long time ago because I'm an F1 fan anyway, and a technical like nerd. So that was a big film for me for those purposes. But this has been different, Kim. For me, this has been the most challenging way to watch films. Not because I'm watching so many of them, but because I'm watching them critically, not just as an entertainment audience thing.
And I have a 3.5-year-old, so me getting through 10 movies in the last month is insane. And that the fact that I fell asleep in only one of them just tells you about the crop of movies that we watched this year. For me, I have to say, this is probably, since Mike and I have been doing this for nearly 18 years, one of the best crop of movies where I'm ranking them. I'm like, well, how do I rank them? Because they're all, most of them are all so good. I will put a little asterisk on
they
that.
are.
But
I also, one of the things that I think helped this crop of movies for me was that when Kim and I started, we would literally go sit in a movie theater all day long and watch 5 movies in a row.
Yeah.
The first year, and so the first few years, it was only 5 nominees. But the first year that we did it was the year that Juno and There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men were all nominated, which was a good year for movies. but you're sitting there for 5 movies straight. There were some pretty depressing movies in that list. And the first year we each bought like big things of alcohol, thinking like we're gonna get drunk, and by like lunchtime we were like, this is an awful idea. We've been eating popcorn and hot dogs because that's all AMC served at that point, and we're like, and we're drinking so much alcohol, we're gonna be, we could not sustain. So we've learned some tricks, but spreading it out over 6 weeks has also been very nice.
Yeah.
As much, even though like a lot of it was the last 5 days, so. Most of that was because we weren't sure certain things were going to be available when and where.
Yeah,
so.
And because Mike and I, Kim, run into this on cine-men as well. Is sometimes when we pick one movie per week based on the month's theme, we'll often have to like shift them around based on what streaming service they're on. Because Mike is currently full-time creative as part of Chocolate Diamond Media. I pay for the privilege to work at Chocolate Diamond Media. I pay them monthly. And I mean,
it means less now that you're a part owner, though. Just so you know, like when you weren't a part owner, that was like a big deal.
No, it was a good joke, but I'm not going to let it go. So
right.
in this situation, I think the next step is to go over like the format for the sake of the audience, and then we can get into our snippets of like how we rank and rate each one.
All right, so we're gonna for this episode, we're gonna do things a little differently than we have in the past. We're not gonna break everything down into segments. We all 3 of us gave ratings the way we usually do. In a 10 scale of watchability, a 10 scale of quality, and then I averaged it all out into one average score, and then ranked them. We will be going 10th to first, and when we talk about each movie, we could talk about like kind of generic points of like, did we like it? Do we think it deserved to be nominated? Is there anything that we hope it does win? Because I just, 10 movies is, I don't want us to be here 3 hours. I'm sure with a job and a littler kid than I have, Kim, you don't want to be here 3 hours.
Not at all.
So
no offense.
So
guys.
let's try to get through this quickish. So let's dive right in with 10th place. I will also say, because of the way I scored it, it's not necessarily like we ranked the movies. We scored them each individually on a 10 scale. So that doesn't mean that like anything's going to come out necessarily how we would have chosen ranking wise.
True.
Like our number one may not have been the thing that is number one for the whole show. So to start off with 10th place is F1. This is the Brad Pitt Apple Plus movie, and I think that if we all look at our scores, I think we all consistently put this last. So like that does come last for all of us.
Yeah.
Do we what any thoughts that anybody wants to kick us off with?
I would just say for F1 for me is the one movie this year that I would 100% say should not have been nominated. I get why they did nominate it because they wanted something that was fresh and something that like would draw a different crowd. But for me, it fell short for being a Best Picture nominee. Was it a good F1 movie? Sure. Do I like F1 in my real life? No.
Yeah.
So it kind of was lost on me, but I have watched other nominated pictures that have been around, like car racing and things like that, which were good, which I thought should be nominated, especially in the year. But for this, I understand why they nominated it. Do I think it should have been? No.
Yeah, and I'll go next. Mike and I have spoken about, because again, with you, he's paid so much attention to past awards. I have not paid as much attention until recently, and we've looked at like, oh, this won over this, and we don't even talk about that film anymore. Or this actor won this over someone who did junk after that. I can tell you that in the United States specifically, Formula One is making a huge push to try to replace or challenge other motorsports for viewing time on screens of Americans, or just North Americans altogether. This includes Canada and Mexico. So the fact that Apple also now owns the exclusive broadcasting rights to Formula One in the United States. They took it away from Formula One Media, and now the only way you can watch Formula One in the entire US is through an Apple TV subscription. So I believe, like Kim did, that this kind of got nominated for posterity / popularity. Although, and Mike doesn't love when I cloud the judgments, but I am a technical nerd, and the amount of the hopeless amount of like ingenuity that went into film this the way they did, I tried to keep it out of my rating as much as possible. And I told Mike this was too predictable. I knew what was going to happen. And I've said on cine-men before, if I can guess the next line, I'm bored. And that happened a bunch in this. I'm like, oh, it's a love story. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be a smartass and do something silly and something hugely different in the world of sports so that they win now. Like, it doesn't mean it wasn't good, but it's middling. Like, it's a C grade movie. We gave it an average of 6.3.
It's one of those movies where, like, when you look at the categories that it got nominated for outside of Best Picture,
those make sense.
It makes
sense.
Yeah,
but then Best Picture,
Best Film Editing, Best Sound. Like, if you look at actually Best Visual Effects is the one I'll use as an example. 4 out of the 5 Best Visual Effects nominees didn't get nominated for Best Picture, and that's very often one of those categories that doesn't always translate. And so, like, from what I understand of the movie, it probably deserves that better than Sinners, for example, and if it beats Sinners on that, I'm fine. If it beats Sinners on any of those 3 categories, I'm not terribly, upset about it. But like if it had been in, if Brad Pitt had been nominated, or if it had been nominated in the screenplay, that's where I'd be like, the fact that it's nominated for Best Picture is like, this is the reason why we have 10 nominees now is because The Dark Knight didn't get nominated because they want the like audience participation
there was
award,
the year that Wall-E didn't get nominated, and that was a big thing. They were like, nobody ever nominates
that was the same year.
animated films, and so like the next year, I think it was, that we had a whole crop of like we had Up and things like that, which were great movies, but like they probably in a year of 5 would never be nominated, and that's why they did that, which sometimes I think muddles the pool. Like the first year they did 10, it was a stretch. Like I remember watching those movies and going, why is District 9 nominated? Why am I sitting through this mediocre movie?
No, and I'm a sci-fi fan. District 9 did not need that nomination. And I really think when we did our live react, Kim, when they were dropping the nominations, like, I'm an F1 fan. There's a Ferrari hat right behind me. Like, I watch every race, every practice, all the preseason. And like, even I went, huh? Like, technical, editing, special, visual effects, sure. Yeah. This is nowhere near the quality of the other 9. Not even close. So it gets a 6.3, rightfully so.
Okay, for the next, we have a 3-way tie for 7th place. So we'll start off with Bugonia.
Yeah, so Bugonia.
I wasn't going to be like, Bugonia. I'll be honest, Kim. I was surprised at how high your scoring was for it. Because I know you and your tastes, and I was like, when I watched that movie, I was like, oh, she's gonna fucking hate this movie. And you did, you rated it higher than I expected.
So it wasn't horrible. I have to say that the second it started, I was like, oh, you were so dying for a Best Picture nomination with this movie. Like, you've got the camera angles and the colors and the bugs and the all this, and I'm like, you're asked, like, this is what you want. It was enjoyable for the most part to watch. I didn't like the ending so much. And that's where like it kind of dug down for me. But it was the problem I had with that movie per se was it was trying. It was trying really hard to get that nomination, which it did, and it got an acting nom for what's her name? Emma Stone. So like you got all that, but for me it just was trying too hard.
So
I will say I agree largely. I also think that like I like Emma Stone, and I haven't. Best Actress is the acting category I've seen the least amount of nominees in. But I wouldn't. I don't think that I wouldn't have picked that performance if I had to pick one performance from the movie. I would have picked Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Although I understand why he wasn't, because lead actor is very strong.
Oh, with this bunch,
I think.
yes.
But I think that like I get it. But like Emma Stone, I would not have picked. For this, I also like, I heard someone saying that like she is the second. She's right now ranking second in like possibly winning this thing. Now it's a runaway for Hamnet for Jessie Buckley, but Emma Stone is like, she's younger than all of us, and she's already won 2, which I'm not like a. I just can't imagine they're gonna do a 3. Well, that's not even that. Like, I hate when like the politics game of it, but like I am also a realist and know that comes into play. So I don't know. Personally, it doesn't rank with her best performances.
No,
for me,
there are better. Emma Stone has some better performances, and I was looking at our ratings, and for me, audience, this is one of my largest gaps between watchability and quality. And the reason for that is, look, I love a quirky, messed up sci-fi film. Some of the sci-fi from the 70s is some of my, like Xanadu, like some of that shit is so much up my alley because it's just out there. I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea. So my watchability, I gave a 6 because it's not that watchable for the average movie-going audience or even that average critical audience. But for quality, like Kim was saying, camera angles, color, editing, framing, even the aspect ratio that this was filmed in, like it was just a little bit artistic enough that I'm like, no, that's an 8. Like, I get it. I know what you're after with this. So,
yeah. Personally, I think that the weirdness of it didn't work for me too, because it was not. We did a movie, Kim. I know for a fact that you've not seen this movie. What was the movie? Sorry to bother you. And it was arguably a weirder movie than Bugonia, but it's weirder from the first minute. So you're like,
it's coming the whole time.
It's not. It doesn't like seem like one thing until the last 10 to 15 minutes, and then completely change on its ear. Although, like, I've seen enough of Yorgos Lanthimos' movies to know that this was going to be like, I while I was watching, I was like, I think there's a 50% chance that it goes exactly the way it went. But only because I had seen it. Alex, I don't think had seen any of his other movies, and we talked about it when we first saw the movie. He was like, I didn't see that coming.
Like, I had an idea like you did, Mike, where it was like, it's like give you a 50-50 chance. And I was really hoping it was going the other way, just because I thought that would be like much better. In my opinion, I didn't want it to end the way that I thought it would, or it could.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't like, that's why I didn't like the ending, I was like, oh, like, I'm kind of disappointed that it was.
And really,
the ending could have been executed better, I think, too, though. Like I could have been okay with that ending if things had been different. But like, I also don't want to give away if people haven't watched it yet.
No. And I don't want you to either. But at the same time, like, if you look at Jesse Plemons, Aidan DeBliss, Starvos, Alicia Silverstone, like the other actors in this movie, they got outshined by how much like character development Emma Stone's character had, that even if they were gonna be better, they didn't get the freaking chance to be better. So that could have overshadowed some of the wild like sci-fi this director's hand that was in this. But so Bugonia is Bugonia.
Yeah. Is there anything that you two are hoping that it does win?
Ooh.
To be fair, I don't know what else it's nominated in. So.
It's nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Okay. Emma Stone's nominated.
Well, yeah, I already said Emma. No, not that. Adapted Screenplay. I don't know what else is in there, but I feel like the screenplay was good. It would just
Adapted Screenplay is Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams.
It doesn't stand to those.
No, it's not going to. No. No thanks.
Yeah, and so I think that's all the categories that it's nominated for. I there's nothing that I want it to win. All right, so let's move on to the next movie.
Train Dreams.
Train Dreams. It's funny because, like, in some ways, I think Train Dreams is like a better movie than Bugonia, but I'm just not like. I think personally, this is just my take on it. Train Dreams is like a very good movie that is very unexciting. Like, it is beautiful, like it's beautiful visually. The story, and I hate this about myself because I always think the Oscars nominates things that are like more instead of like they always overlook subtlety, and here's subtlety, and I'm like, I almost fell asleep several times watching this movie.
So
See, I stayed awake.
Okay, this is the one you stayed awake for. So Mike and I actually ragged a little on Train Dreams when we were watching, when we did our Sinners episode, saying if this is too much for you, there's Train Dreams. And I liked that joke. Apparently, YouTube did not. But so there's so much. There's only a delicate amount of it takes you out that you're in like early of 20th century American West. There's only a couple moments where you get pulled out, and those kept it fresh enough that I wanted to keep watching. But for me, it was a 6 and an 8. It's another one where it had a 2-point delta between watchability 6, quality 8. Again, I knew what you were trying to do with this. I see the color work. I see the camera. I see the softened focus. I get it. But watchability, 6. Like, again, middling, not bad, just middling. And when Mike and I talk about our partners, we're often saying this is maybe more of a film for a casual audience that they could see and be like, I feel for the characters, which I did. I felt bad for, this is one of those some movies. Grit that I wanted good things to happen to these people.
Yeah, and that's like
if you had to pick 3 movies from this list to show your parents,
Train Dreams up there.
Train Dreams is one of the ones that there's going to be no awkwardness with, right?
And that's where, like, when I think of watchability for me, like, that for me is, am I going to tell my parents that they should watch it? Am I going to say to my sisters, should they watch it? Would I tell my husband to watch it? And when it came to the Train Dreams, I was like, I really wouldn't tell anybody to watch it unless like they're into this type of movie.
Yeah.
I was presently surprised by it. I thought I was going to be completely, utterly bored and not enjoy it at all.
And you were not. You were a 7 for watchability and a 9 for quality. Yeah. Okay.
So I was very surprised that I actually enjoyed it. And I think that's why I ranked it so much higher than I normally would have, is because I went in with no expectations. I went in going, this is going to be something that I'm either going to really like or really dislike. And I liked it. So I went with, hey, this is better. But would I tell my husband to go watch it? No.
It's the shortest of almost all of them.
Which probably why I stayed awake.
It is genuinely like by almost 45 minutes to an hour, it's the shortest of all of these. So
which it didn't need to be any longer.
Please.
Which one of the things that I gripe about all the time, and Mike can probably tell you this, is that like when someone comes up for best like editing, and I'm like, but it was like almost 3 hours long. How can you tell me this was a great edited film?
You should see
when it's 3 hours long. Like you need. Like how long was this film? Like, I'm sorry, like I don't want to watch it. Like nowadays I don't want to watch a 3-hour film, a 3.5-hour film. Like there's several of them that come through over the years where
we did Titanic yesterday.
Yes. Or like for me, like the biggest like one of the ones that sticks out for me in the past was Benjamin Button. Like that movie was.
It's also not good though.
It wasn't good, but it was super long, and they could have edited out like 90% of Brad Pitt's part, which I know wouldn't have been great because it wouldn't have sold any tickets. But like I'm just sitting there going, he's the same age. He's the same age. He's the same age, and that's like why. Yeah, which is why like a Train Dreams is good for me because you've made it into something that I can stomach, that I don't, like, I'm not halfway through going, what time is it? Am I looking at my watch? Do I want to get up? Do I want to pause it? Do I want to use the bathroom? Like, no, let's just get it done.
Yeah. So Train Dreams is also nominated for screenplay and cinematography.
Give it cinematography, take screenplay away.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm kind of iffy on either of those. Like, I think it deserves to be in those categories.
Yes.
I don't think it deserves to win.
Yeah, when I said take it out, I mean take it out of that category, because there's other screenplays that were better or better adaptations, in my opinion. Train Dreams, give it cinematography.
Right.
It hit. It had all the pieces I wanted. It told the story even on mute, which is something that I think can make good cinematography. If I can't hear a damn thing and I'm like, it's pretty, it's eye-catching, I want to see what's next, that's where I'm going to give that award, and it should have it. At least be in the category.
If the only other category that I would have nominated it for, and this isn't like I would pull something out for, but I just, like, when I watched it, what I was expecting, because it was one of the couple that I watched before the nominations went out. I thought that the main actor, not Taron Egerton, Joel Edgerton, I thought his performance was amazing, and I thought that, like, he could get an Oscar nomination for lead actor. But looking at I have not seen Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, but the other four, I'm like, I don't know who I would pull to give him that. So, like, that's just kind of in a bubble. I thought
Edgerton was good
for that.
Macy was almost as good.
Yeah, but Macy.
No, I know, because he's supporting, but still, like quality of character. Felicity doing Gladys, good. Right? Good. She did not get enough screen time for me to really attach myself to her that much. Obviously, Joel being the big part of this story as Robert Grainer, like, no, that makes sense. But the
fact that you know the character names shows that, just so everybody knows, I don't know when Kim watched it, but Alex watched it today. And I watched it 8 weeks ago or something. I watched it before the Oscar nomination, so it's been a while. So the fact that he's, like, whipping out names here is really, like, showing off a bit.
Or it's
I watched it like a week or so ago, so it's relatively fresh, but I wouldn't remember any of the names, because I'm not even sure how often they even said the names in that movie. Like, they might have had names.
Yeah, because it was a narrative film, they actually did say his name kind of often. But no, audience, it's just the magic internet machine. I am not that good. All right. What was our third seventh place?
And all right, next, our third seventh. The Secret Agent. Which I only finished 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago.
Show
off. Technically, I never finished it because I fell asleep last night, and then I didn't have time to finish it today.
Okay, so I want to throw my opinion out there and see, because based on what you just said, I think that we're on the same page, which is, if this movie had been in English, and I don't want them to make movies for me, but I'm just saying, like, if I had understood this movie as a fluent speaker of its language, I think it would have been better, because I think that they were speaking pretty quickly. It is a pretty complicated plot. I mean, I understood the events that happened, but I couldn't understand all the motivation for those events. And I would imagine, like, last night I was trying to last night or the night before I started watching it, and I was like, I can't watch this while I'm tired, because it takes too much attention to focus. So like that's like completely not the film's fault, and like so like I don't want to like weigh it against it. So I went pretty hot on this, because I actually, once I was like fully awake today and watching the movie, I was like, Sarah kept being like, do you want to do this real quick? And I'm like, I want to keep watching this movie. I'm actually into the movie, but that's partly because I'm wide awake and really focused. And I still don't feel like I understood the entire motivation for everything that happened.
We ran into this during Italian month. And there were, specifically The Conformist, we were not able to find a clean, easy to watch English dubbed. So I literally watched the whole thing with badly timed subtitles that an AI did its damnedest to try to give me. And I mean, it was bad, but yeah, it's hard to follow something that's not in your native tongue. And I appreciate this film being in Portuguese more because it's set in Brazil. It's the language of that time. It's the language of like that.
Mhm.
It's almost like a purposeful use of it not being English, and I'm fine with that. I don't think it would distract or take away if it was in English, like Mike mentioned, but I get why you did it in
Right.
Portuguese. And for me,
Yeah.
do we almost agree
And
on this entirely? 6-8, 6-8. No, you gave it double eights, Mike. Tim and I agreed on
I did,
it.
because I was pretty hooked when I was wide awake.
Yeah.
When I was not wide awake, I was like, this is a struggle. But when I was wide awake, I was good to
Yeah.
go. I will say, you know, back to the language thing for 1 second, like, I think it was the speed and
Yeah.
complexity of the story, because Sentimental Value is mostly not in English. It's only slightly more in English than this is, but it's much slower paced in the dialogue, and
Mhm.
and I don't mean slow paced and like it's boring. I mean, it just was like way more followable. While
The
reading
pace is
subtitles.
more
Yeah,
expected for a drama like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
agreed, because I feel like I would have liked it a lot better if I had been able to follow it more.
Right.
And not that I can't follow a movie with subtitles or a movie in another language. Like, there was even a movie one year that won that didn't have really any dialogue until the very end, because it was the progression into the talkies. So the artist is what I'm referring to. So like, I love that movie. It was great. So I'm good with that. This just had, like, as Mike said, so many little nuances that I missed a lot of it, and I couldn't get as invested in the story and the characters as I would have liked to. And that's something that, like, I look at and I'm like, I really wish I could have liked this more,
Yeah.
because I know it's good and I know it's a good movie. I don't know, like, I don't know Portuguese enough. Like, I don't know enough. And like, it was just one right after the other, and you had to be following it. And maybe I'll go back at another point when I am wide awake and I can invest time in it. And I, I wasn't like half asleep or falling asleep, because I can't stand that. But I do think that I probably has more, like, I could give it more justice than I
like
did
it
in my
has more
rankings,
in it,
but
you couldn't devote the time or the attention. And my rating mirrored yours for the same reasons. I'm an English speaker. I grew up watching Italian television because I had Italian grandparents. And it doesn't mean that I speak a lick of it, because I don't. But I sure can pick up enough on a romance language. Audience, it didn't help me with this one. It was still a hard watch because it's in Portuguese, which is romance language adjacent. So it takes place in one of my favorite times in history. I love South America in the 70s. It is such a like fantastic James Bond espionage political, like just it. There's so much going on that I like that era. And I also like how the South America and Cuba like still looks like the 70s with the colors of the buildings and the architecture from all of the invasions they had over the years. But it doesn't mean it's much better than a tie for third place.
And the camera style was that was really cool too, was because there's a lot of things they used to do in the 70s that they don't really do, like those like weird zooms,
the tight,
like
fast pull-ins,
like okay, we're gonna just zoom in on that thing or zoom out, and they were doing those, and it was cool because it was like a combination of like trying to meet that, like, I would say less James Bond and more that like 70s thrillers, like that they had. It really worked on that level. But also a lot of times, like those, I think that the plot is like, thin, and then they just like know that they're, it's cool enough to get away with it. This one, I understood the beats. I couldn't tell if it was like, is all of this happening because he insulted that guy? Like, what? So anyway, so let's move on to fifth place, part one, Sentimental Value. This one I finished last night. I think both of you finished it in the last 48 hours or so. Yep. So this one's fresh. I really, really liked this one. like we said, this is a really good year of, so like, you know, we're halfway up the ranks,
This is where they start to
you know, where
hit.
we're still
This
halfway
is
up,
where there are so many people that could
and
say anything above this could probably get Best Picture, and I don't think we would hate it, but we might not love it based on our ratings. But like everything above here is deserving, I think.
yeah.
Yes, this is where like you separate the greatness from the, yeah, I get it, or in our case of F1, not really. I get it, but this is why you're here. But these are the movies where like I sat there and I was more on the edge of my seat than the other ones where.
Yeah. I will say for this one that I have, so it has 9 nominations, and one of those I disagree with, but not for the reason why you'll think, probably. I don't think Stellan Skarsgård should be Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
He is very clearly the lead actor in this movie. I would be fine with a co-lead with with Renat Rensiv. I'm sure I screwed her name up. I apologize. But he's the lead character in this movie. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he
like,
is.
It's not like
how about this? Screen time is not what decided that character development did. So for me, Stellan got better character development even with less time on screen than Rensiv.
I don't think he has less time though.
Oh,
I think that he has just as much time as she does on screen.
Okay, screen with development.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Screen with development.
But
he's not just physically there, but like the amount of time spent developing up his character. No, I agree that he's almost he is a bigger deal in this film for me. He is.
Right. And I wouldn't like, so if you put him in the category of Best Actor, not Best Supporting Actor, I'd probably pull out Leonardo DiCaprio. Even though I thought he was good enough in that movie to deserve an Oscar nomination, he's probably the one I'd pull
Leo
out.
Being
we
Leo.
talked about that.
So
we literally talked about that.
He's usually always good.
He's always good. He's
like a Meryl Streep. He's in a movie, the movie does well, and therefore they get nominated.
I am the biggest person on this
screen. So he's doing what he does.
It's me.
Yep.
Yeah. If you put Stellan Skarsgård in that category and he wins, I'm not hating that. Like I think that he was good enough. Like that's where when I was saying the thing about Joel Edgerton, I was like, that was in a bubble, and I don't have anyone I could pull out for Joel Edgerton. For Stellan Skarsgård. Now, when you go for categories, it's what the studio decides to submit you as. So like you can submit anybody for either category essentially, and they just know that you have a better shot in supporting, and so that's why they submitted him in supporting, which to me is category fraud, honestly. Like he shouldn't be up against those other 4 because those other 4 are supporting. But I mean, he's no less good, and I don't know that he's the one who pulled the trigger on that decision. But like, I would put him in Best Actor, and I think that like I still think Michael B. Jordan is the best, which we'll get to. But I think that like if he won in Best Actor,
I mean, it's not like they're trying to give it to him for Dune, where he was barely on screen for more than 10 minutes one time and 6 minutes the other time. So at least we're not trying to give it to him for that. But
But people have had lesser roles in one.
Okay, true.
Like Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea. Yeah. She won. She was in that movie for like 10 minutes. Not even.
Yeah, but that's supporting. So I'm like okay with supporting. Like supporting can be anything up to not leading. Like if it what's her face? Judi Dench, I think, was in the movie for like 4 minutes or something. That she won her. That Dame Judi Dench. I'm looking up screen time because I need to know what his screen time was.
I'm curious about
Value. 53 minutes and 37 seconds. And now, what was the other woman's name? Ren.
It is Ren.
Copy paste.
That works. Ren. No, that's Bugonia. Where do I have it open here? Here we go. We are
57 minutes 3 seconds. Okay, so she has 4 more minutes. She has 4 minutes than he does.
So that doesn't really. That's null and void.
Yeah, and I don't want to take her nomination away.
Agreed.
Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I have no problem with 2 leads. I think that lots of movies have two leads,
yeah.
and we don't have a problem with it. So like, it's not a big deal for me. I just don't think he deserves
Nah,
to be in supporting.
he's more badass in this than supporting. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I was like, if in case you guys pushed back, I was going to be like, well, the kid who got nominated, the kid from Hamnet doesn't get nominated for leading actor, but even though it's about him, like, you know, because I was like, no, it's not about, you know, who is the pivot moment. It's about who's the character.
And audience, we all agreed except for Kim. And actually, I'm curious, why was this a 9 and not an 8 for your quality score the way we all gave it an 8? So Mike and I were 7 watchability, 8 quality. Kim went 9. Why?
Because I liked it.
Well, quality-wise, it's one step from perfect, and you only gave that to one movie.
Yeah.
So...
Yes, I did. And so I actually was a lot easier than I probably normally would be, to be fair. But I really did. I thought it was very well done. I thought that the whole idea where you bring in the house as like the cornerstone of the family and bringing that to starting it off with her telling the story of this. Like, you have to talk about this character, this thing in your life. And this thing in her life is her house. And it's just a house. And she has then she finds out, hey, Dad owns a house and we don't have it. And he could take it away from us. And this is the cornerstone of my entire existence is this house that I grew up in, that generations grew up in and people were born in. And that to me was like why I gave it the score that I did, because they centered around one thing, a house, and they made it work. Versus like you could say that for another movie and it's like, well, why did you make a house like this thing? And so for me, that's where I really brought it in, was they tied it to this piece and they did it throughout the entire film all the way up until the very end.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, what you were just talking about too, a lot of that is the writing, and this is the one other screenplay nomination
I was about to ask,
I could see beating Sinners that I'd be okay with.
So that whole cathartic thing,
so let's move on to
the whole time I was watching this film, I kept, like you said, the house becomes the character, or the house becomes the unifying piece of the film. Big Fish felt like that for me. And that is one of my favorite movies from like the mid 2000s. So I had no problem giving it the scores that I did, but quality was a little higher than watchability. And yeah, it's that language thing again. It's harder to follow. It just is. All right, 4th place time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 5th place time.
Yes, 5th place still. It's the other 5th place. Frankenstein. I know that, like, Kim, I think that you would have ranked that quite a bit lower.
Yes, I would have. That's why I'm trying not to laugh, because Mike knows that I was being very nice on this one.
What's weird is your quality scores are like higher than mine and Alex's, but I think we liked the movie more than you did, because like I really enjoyed this movie. And I wasn't like sure about it. And it's funny because Guillermo del Toro is one of those directors where every single time I see one of his movies, I like it, but I'm always, it's kind of like pulling teeth to get me to go see it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. I really liked the movie. I liked Jacob Elordi. I thought was really good in it. I if I'm being honest, probably haven't seen a Frankenstein movie that wasn't young Frankenstein, like a legitimate Frankenstein movie all the way through.
Which is what I liked about it. I liked that it was not the young take. It was the traditional. It wasn't that thing that we had in the mid 2000s where everything got a current version remake of classic films, like all the Shakespeare's that got like their modern adaptations. Nah, give me, and also Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors. Give me that dude doing Frankenstein, and that's what I got. So I was a 7 and an 8. 7 for watchability and 8 for quality, which I gave a bunch of 8s for quality. But again, we're talking about the top 10 films. The only one here
Yeah.
that's mediocre is F1, as far as like a good film. Everything else here is above mediocre in general.
Right. And then that's why a lot of it comes down to taste at this point.
Yes, and that's
because this is a good crop.
Yeah, and so for me, like Frankenstein, I was very generous. Mike will tell you that because he knows me and he knows uh, my like what I like. I do have to say, like you guys said, I like that it is a traditional Frankenstein. Like it brings it back to basics. It brings you back to that core story of Frankenstein and how he became who he became. I like that piece. I'm going to go on a different take, Alex. I don't like Guillermo del Toro. I don't like his movies.
Could you move her, please?
Ever since The Shape of Water, and with Shape of Water winning that year, I have just sort of like said, I can't do it. I don't like it. It had Frankenstein had a similar feel with like the sort of the love story with like a creature that's not really human, and you're trying to make me want to like be invested in that. So
does it make it any more does it invest you any more knowing that woman who kind of was in love with the monster also married Shia LaBeouf in real life? That's Shia LaBeouf's ex-wife. So like does that make it any more believable for you?
A tiny bit.
Mia Goth?
Yeah, she has a kid with Shia LaBeouf. They just
they even reproduced. Okay, never mind. I think we know. It was just Shape of Water put a bad taste in my mouth, and then when it won, it just really shifted the focus. I was like, how could you make that movie win? There was a whole bunch of things, and this is not about Shape of Water, it's about Frankenstein. But I will say I was quite generous with my scores for it. I would have normally, if it was just me and Mike and I wasn't talking on a podcast, it would be a lot lower. I wouldn't put it below F1 because I know a good movie when I see it. I just probably wouldn't rank it as high as I would have.
Yeah, fair. I like that off stuff. So I like the really artistic, borderline self-filleting kind of director stuff that's like very high art. So Guillermo del Toro's my flavor. I think Shape of Water is not. I'll tell you, Shape of Water is not my favorite work of his at all.
Before we move on, anything that we want Frankenstein to win?
No.
There's a few things I don't care about, but there's nothing.
What are the nominations?
What is it? Is it for makeup or something like that? Because the makeup on the Frankenstein was good.
Yeah, makeup.
But I don't know who else was.
Costume design, cinematography, sound design, best production design. I actually think production design, it made like when that's Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners, and like I actually think that the production design on this one might be the winner in my head because of how big some of those sets are and stuff. And then I think it was supporting actors, the only other one that I could think of.
Okay. Again, like the makeup was
Kim, I could see makeup or costumes. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't be upset if it wins. Literally, I wouldn't be upset with any of those winning. But I don't need any of them to win. I'm not like vying for any of them.
First world problems. We need it to win.
All right. Fourth place is Hamnet.
Don't you mean Hamlet?
No, I don't. And
They're the same.
If you watch the first 30 seconds,
that's a joke. Thank you.
I will say, looking at our scores and having talked to Kim a little bit about this, and you know, Kim and I are parents. Alex, you're not a parent, obviously. That's a parent. But I think that this movie is really good quality, and we would probably all agree on that, and not really, really watchable. Like, it was watchable once. It's not rewatchable. Like, I don't want to watch this movie.
I can agree with that.
No, not in
it's
this way.
Beautiful. Like it's beautiful in its shots and language and character moments, but it is so heartbreaking and like Kim, you mentioned when you texted me about Train Dreams that you didn't want Neil to watch it because the wife and the young daughter, and for me, Logan's like the same age Hamnet is, and so like I was like, oh, this is brutal.
It was brutal for me as well, and it was one of those things where it's a one and done. Like I
Yeah.
liked it. It was very good. Would I recommend it to those people I said at the beginning? Would I recommend it to? Probably not. I actually said to my sister, who's read the book that it's adapted from, and she said, first of all, it's not one of her favorites by that author. But second of all, I was like, if you want to watch it, you need to know that you're going to probably be depressed and cry for a good hour.
Okay.
Knowing the story. And that takes either a person who wants to go through that or B, who is like in a place where they're like, I really just need to cry it out. Like, let me get something good. But to me, that also brings it back to the best actress nomination because her performance was so brilliant throughout the entire movie that
almost
it brings
better than his. Seriously, almost better than his.
He's amazing. He's if Stellan Skarsgård had not been in the wrong category, I would put him in.
Yeah,
I think in that place.
So for me, if it had been played by someone who didn't tug at your heartstrings that much, it might have been a more watchable movie. But you could feel her pain and her her
that
everything
guttural
and
sound.
Yes, the screaming, the crying, and then the whole idea where you're like, oh, I know what I'm anticipating when she goes, on my deathbed, I'm going to have 2 children. And it goes from there. And then she has the twins. And then she realizes from that point on,
one of them
somebody's going to die.
Yeah.
And so you're in that place where you're following her knowing what fate is left. And of course she thought it was going to be the one girl and it wasn't. And in the whole scene of that scene with that little boy, he was brilliant as well. Like you could have a little kid actor who does, like, you look at it and you're like, I'm supposed to feel.
The little kid was fantastic in this.
Yep.
In the way that it's not just the cute kid on screen, go see Train Dreams, little kid being cute, right? Like when she was talking about the chickens in Train Dreams, I handed my headphones to my wife. I'm like, this is cute as hell. Watch it. This scene's cute as hell. Just listen to her say, hi, chicken, and do like the little kid wave thing where they like make a fist. But then for me, as a married but will never have children person, Jessie Buckley is so flippin' attractive in this film. And then she has like her watching the performance. Oh God, just it just punched me. And I watched this in a small community theater, the Cary Theater. Mike knows about it. In the middle of the day, in the middle of the mid-afternoon, I was probably the only dude in there. Most of them were middle-aged or older women, and my wife and myself. And like you heard it all over the theater, my wife included. And she would have never gone and seen this on her own. It's freaking great. Of the ones going up, it's the one that surprised me the most based on its content. I like historical stuff. I like musicals and classic theater. I grew up in a family that performed in classic theater. I was all about it. Not that the other noms aren't as good, but her in this as a person without children, it worked.
She, from what I've been hearing, is like the only runaway category right now.
Oh yeah,
like it's a lock. It's a lock, and she deserves it. Like
100%.
Without a doubt.
I haven't seen 2 of the 5, but like of the 3 that I've seen, she absolutely deserves it.
Oh, the ping pong movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So we all saw it the last 5 days, right? 6 days.
Saw it on Sunday.
So we all saw it in the heat of the controversy. And I will say, like I said about Guillermo del Toro, Timothy Chalamet is one of those people who I'm like, I always end up liking the movie, but I'm always like, about watching
because
a movie
of
with him in it.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
And because he just he kind of looks like my sister, which I think is like weirds me out too. Doesn't he, Kim?
I do. Now I can't unsee that. Oh,
yeah. And he's always in like
audience. I'm looking at Timothy Chalamet, and I have a cursory remembrance of her sister.
Oh yeah, I forgot you met my sister. Yeah,
you're mean. Because you're mean.
Anyway, I think that I will say this about having seen all of the chaos of the last 2 weeks of him and then watching this movie, that my thought was, is he being that chaotic as a publicity stunt, like staying in character? Because we haven't really seen him being this ridiculous before this film, like in interviews and stuff. And then watching him in the movie, you're like, oh, he is that ridiculous.
Yeah.
And is this like a I'm staying in character kind of thing?
No, that's him,
which
not in character. That's just him,
Yeah.
right? And so for me, this is a study of ego, charisma, obsession. Like, it fits how you're describing him as a person.
Mhm.
So typecast, yeah, I'll go with that.
I did see did see someone this morning who was talking about like why this movie, this lead actor doesn't work as compared to any of the other 4 nominees, and they said like, because what we want to see in characters is not only like an arc, but we want to see like vulnerability, and really at no point in this
is
movie
he vulnerable.
do we see vulnerability. He is
not until maybe the last like 2 minutes of the movie where I felt anything for him. Like, to be honest, like, I left the theater going, that was a good movie, but there's something about it that's just gnawing me at the wrong way. So when I got home and my husband was like, oh, what did you think? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I've been thinking for the last 30 minutes on my car ride home, why am I having this reaction? Which, to be honest, is not a bad thing for a movie to give you, because it means it's done something.
You're still thinking about it the whole car ride home. You're
Yeah.
not just like, oh, F1, cool. No, you're like, so good, bad, well shot, well act. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, like, what is my problem with this movie?
I know I have one,
and I
but
think
what is it? Yeah. Okay.
And so I think I came up with what my problems were. Number one, table tennis. Doesn't do it for me. Like, ping pong is not,
at least it's
like,
not opera and
it's
ballet.
Opera and ballet.
Give me opera and ballet. I like that. I think I would like that more.
What was that, Black Swan?
Ping pong, I'm like,
that was a nominated film about ballet. Yep.
Yes. And so, like, that was one thing. But the second thing was Marty himself as a character was such a douchebag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I supposed to am I supposed to be rooting for him and being like, you can beat the Japanese dude? Or am I supposed to be like, you're a douchebag? Like, I want to come into onto the screen and punch you. Like, what reaction am I supposed to have to you? Because I really more so want to punch you.
So speaking of, go ahead.
The thing that got me about this movie was not Timothée Chalamet in it. Like, he's serviceable. He does the character fine. I'm not upset that he's nominated. I won't be terribly upset if he wins. But like, for me, what makes this movie work is A, the pacing is really good. Like, there's not a moment to be bored.
It's quick.
And B is that, like, you know, like, I've seen a lot of sports movies. Even though I'm not a big sports guy, I like sports movies if they're good. And what I liked about this movie is that it is not a sports movie like we've ever seen. And I was explaining this to Sarah. I'm like, you don't, you know, like, when you see Rocky or any other, you know, sports movie, there's like, we got to make ourselves
F1,
the best we can be and overcome, and we have to overcome, and we have to overcome. And this wasn't like someone trying to build themselves up. And I'm going to use a word that I feel like is not politically correct, but I don't have a better word for. This is like a junkie trying to get a hit. Like, I don't think we're supposed to say junkie anymore, but like, drug addict doesn't do the trick in this case.
No,
he's
like,
more slummy
this is
than
like
that.
Watching.
It's more slummy than
This is like watching a.
He's a slime ball who like uses everybody in his life. Like,
but he's also like addicted to this dream. Like, he needs the hit of this. Yeah, and it's in a way that like we've never seen anything but drugs depicted.
Well, and it's not like he came up trying to be a table tennis star. He was like attracted to it outside and then becomes the table tennis star. So it's not the same take as Wolf of Wall Street, where even though that person's a douchebag, I still feel for him a little bit. It's not like the characters in a very much like I've talked about it before with Mike. The only superhero franchise that I like is Iron Man, because I think it is the perfect cast role for him. because he is such a self-aggrandizing douchebag. But that's why it fits the way he acts and the way the character of Tony Stark works. So here, I never felt anything for Marty, but I feel a little bit for Tony. I feel a little bit for other people that are douchebags in movies. But no, you're right. In this one, I'm like, you're right. I just want to punch you in the face the whole time. But I didn't at the same time because I wanted you to win a little,
ask you,
you know?
Let me ask you both a question, because I have been wondering about this since I saw the movie. Do you think that Kevin O'Leary, or whatever that guy's name is, and Gwyneth Paltrow were cast so that Marty wouldn't be that big of a douche next to what we know are giant douchebags in real life? Like, we got the Goop Lady and the Fox News, like, he's the least likable billionaire.
Oh, he is awful. And the thing is that he literally played himself.
He named himself Mr. Wonderful and then played it. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's him. He wasn't acting. That was just him being him. And that was...
But, like, he's the only character that Marty can be likable next to. Do we think that that's why he's there?
I don't know why they cast him, to be perfectly honest.
Because he paid for it.
Unless he was helping to foot the... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did he foot the bill? So if he's helping foot the bill, that's why he's in it. And then Gwyneth Paltrow, she kind of is
she's good in it.
She is.
She's a good actress, but
she's kind of her character. She hasn't been... What was the last movie or something of note has she been in?
Oh, good point.
Iron Man.
Speaking of Iron Man. Okay, yeah.
See, I'm not a superhero movie person at all. So I don't really remember. But, like, to be honest, she was cast almost as herself as well.
Yeah.
Like, she is this person who hasn't really done anything, has been doing, like, Goop and side work,
steaming her badge,
riding off the coattails of what she was. So I feel like the two of them, they kind of did that, but she was good. Kevin O'Leary was just him.
I'll even say Penn Jillette, Sandra Bernhard, even somewhat Tyler the Creator. They all kind of played themselves, sort of. Tyler a little less so. But a lot of other people, by the way, I am a fashion fool. I like that Isaac Mizrahi was in this. That was cool to me.
I loved that.
I loved that. That was there.
Awesome.
I have followed fashion for so long.
Mike's like has no idea.
To see him in a movie, like, just it was fucking cool. That wasn't like a documentary about fashion. So I liked that Isaac was in it. So yeah, it's deserving of third place, audience, no matter how much we're shitting on it. We gave it. Kim was an 8 and a 9 for watchability and quality. I was a 9 watchability, 8 quality. I thought it could have been a little tighter in the quality side, but watchability, it's fun, it's fast, the pacing's killer. I'm with Mike on that. And then Mike did the same, a 9 watchability, 8 for quality. And Kim, this is only one step off of a perfect score for quality. Why? Defend your 9.
I thought it was a quality movie. I thought it was a movie that from start to finish had me reeled in, whether I liked the character or not, whether I enjoyed his story, whether the ping pong was there. Like, I was sitting there going, okay, what's happening next?
Yeah.
Where are we going? How are we getting there? Will he win? Will he lose? Like, half of me's like, do I want him to win? Do I want him to lose? Do I want him to do this? Yeah. Like, I was just torn throughout it, and I think that's what gave it the quality for me. Was like, will he survive? Will she survive? Like, I don't even like, even the supporting people, like the what was his girlfriend? Not girlfriend. Rachel, is that her name?
Rachel. Yeah.
Like, I was like, why are you, like, why, woman, why? Like, he doesn't.
I liked her, and then I was like, oh,
like why? Like, I just want to like wring your neck, because I'm like, why are you giving him the time of day? I don't care, that whatever, like, that, be better for yourself. But then I'm like, it's also in the 1950s, so like, I have to keep that in mind. But that, for me, that was why the quality was so good, was because even though I did not like the character, I still was invested from beginning to end. And to me, that's a quality movie where you get me all the way through, that I'm not sitting there going, what time is it? can I go to bed? Like, can I leave? Like, I want to go home. I need to do X, Y, and Z.
I
For me,
would
that's why it
sooner
was a 9.
recommend Uncut Gems to
100%.
someone sooner than Marty Supreme. I liked it better. I know it didn't get any nominations, Uncut Gems, but like that whole I want to know what happens next. I kind of hate you as a person, but I understand why you're doing what you're doing in the case of Adam Sandler's character. But yeah, in this case, the eternal douchebag wins. I care what happens to him because I almost want him to stub his toe, but I almost want him to win too. Like Kim was saying, yeah, I kind of want both to happen. So that's a pretty good reason for it to be in third. Conflict.
I had the douchiest thought when I came out of this movie, which was I feel like this, and I've never seen a Safdie Brothers movie, so this is my first Safdie Brothers movie, and I went, I kind of do feel like they revolutionized filmmaking in this movie. Like, I feel like pacing and editing and cutting, I was like, I don't want this isn't my pick to win Best Director, but if this wins Best Director, I won't be upset. Like, I was like, this movie is like that. I mean, that is the best side for me is like the story's good, like the writing's good, but the directing and pacing and editing and like all of that part of the package is amazing.
Yep.
And I was like, this is, I get it. Like, I get why, and I had such a douchey feeling about it.
Interesting crossover. Safdie Benny and Josh both did Uncut Gems. They separated and only Josh did Marty Supreme. So
no, I know, and it's weird too because they split up to each do a sports movie.
I had no idea that there was any relation between Uncut Gems and this. I was just relating them to each other because I would sooner recommend that to somebody.
Oh,
okay, wow, way to go, Alex! I had a crossover, didn't know about it.
I thought you did that on purpose. All right, second place.
Second place. The rather topical given current situation movie.
Yeah, One Battle After Another. So to be completely upfront, this was my number one movie at the end of last year. And I had seen Sinners and I had seen this. But I had seen Sinners months before. This is also the only movie I didn't get to rewatch. I didn't rewatch F1, but the only movie I didn't get to rewatch of these movies, because I did go rewatch Sinners last month. I don't think that it holds up the same way.
Not with these others.
Like, like Sinners was better the second time to me. Like, Sinners gets better. And obviously, if you've been paying attention, Sinners is obviously going to be number one because it's last place, but last one remaining. But for me, like, One Battle After Another, I think that, like, I liked it a lot, and I really loved it at the end of last year, and I haven't rewatched it. I've heard a lot of shit that is making me like, go, am I gonna be picking it apart when I rewatch it? Because a lot of like black women have been saying like this movie sucks at depicting black women, and then Paul Thomas Anderson made this ridiculously political movie, and then during his speeches was like, I don't want to be political in a time where like it's not even really a big swing to be political. Like, right. And so like all of that makes me kind of go, like if he had doubled down on the better political messaging of this, I'd been like, okay. But like there's a lot of stuff that's left a bad aftertaste. So like I can't, without having rewatched it, I can't in good conscience give this like first place.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it was interesting for me because I watched Sinners and then I watched One Battle After Another, and
like 2 nights in a row. Like
legitimately, one night was Sinners, the next night was One Battle After Another, and I rated, spoiler alert, Sinners is a 10 for me on both categories, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. This one was a 9.5 in both categories. I thought it was a great movie from beginning to end. It held my interest. It was there. I really enjoyed it. One thing I thought was interesting was that a friend of my husband's had posted on Instagram that he ranked the two movies differently. He had One Battle After Another just squeaking out Sinners. So I reached out to him and I was like, what is this about? And he was like, well, I watched One Battle After Another and then Sinners, and I liked one over the other just a tiny bit. And I was like, do you think that if you had watched Sinners first and then One Battle After Another, would that have changed your perception? And he said to me, yeah, I think that might have. And so that's, to me, like, is that what, like, I think that might have some bearing on it. And but One Battle After Another I thought was a great movie. So if either one of them were to walk away with the best picture, I would be happy with either one.
Agreed.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend One Battle After Another to my mom.
I wouldn't recommend
probably
Sinners
not,
to my mom.
especially my.
So, I mean, really for me, One Battle After Another, I see the way that a Black experience, because we did do Black History Month as on cine-men, I can see this depicting the Black experience differently. And it's not Mike White Savior movie.
This movie, I don't know if I would call it the White Savior movie. So, like, let's go over some of the controversy that I've heard.
Okay.
Some of the controversy I've heard is that it depicts Black women badly.
Agreed.
I can see that.
And the opener
is not
example,
complimentary. No,
not at all.
The big example is Perfidia, and I don't disagree entirely, but I also think that, like, there is also, like, postpartum could very well be what's going on here. And, like, that's not a black or white thing. I think it's just hard to tell because I don't know that we see any white women in this. I can't think of a white woman in the movie.
Not that have like genuine development.
We don't have any contrast, right? So we only have black women essentially. But like, so like there's lots of other ways in which I think that they're spot on with like, like they're, it's very much like black women are there for their sexual purposes or for what they are in labor, but also like I don't know, like I liked Regina King's character. Sorry. I really liked the daughter whose name I'm spacing on because it's been a while.
Chase Infinity.
Chase Infinity's character. And I don't think that they are bad depictions, but I also will say that like Chase Infinity's character, while she has some agency, is essentially like the prize at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, which is problematic. Like,
agreed.
It's two white guys fighting over her. Now, like, I think that you've got the fact that one is fighting over her or fighting for her in a way that is like more noble, and one is just, I don't know. I don't, as a white guy, I don't have those problems with the movie, but I'm trying to like understand it, and so like I'm not gonna say like they're wrong. I wouldn't have picked up on those without being pointed out to me.
Agreed. Same.
But now that they've been pointing out, I'm like, I do get what they're saying. I still liked it. I still think that like, especially like I said about PTA, if he had been more bold post movie about the politics of it, because I've been posting and stuff when JD Vance, they were talking about his wife and people were talking about him possibly having to divorce his Indian wife, I'd be like, oh, he's not going to get into the snowman club. And like, I've been posting things from this movie because I was so into this movie for know, and then to know that like the director is like, well, no, this is like in a vacuum. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. And it's like, fuck off.
How does it not have to do? How does it not? Like, but that's the whole thing. Like it does. And does it have to do with the politics of today? Maybe that's what he's saying.
Fair.
But to discredit the fact that this isn't a political feeling movie, the whole thing is political.
Right. And I get that like he's been working on this script and this concept for 15 to 20 years is what he said. But like also the like migrant detention camps that we open the movie with.
I was about to say, how is it not political? Migrant detention camps in Mexico. Have those existed the whole time? Yes.
Probably. Are they a huge talking point in the last 5 years? Yes. Like this is not
more so than before.
Like, this is a thing, right? Like it was not a thing that people were thinking about nearly as much 20 years ago when he started writing it. So like for that to be in there, I feel like the cop out, like, you know, unfortunately, a movie can't be just the thing that it is. Especially in when you're talking about Oscars and anything else, it's in a bigger picture, right? And so if you can't back the movie that is clearly political as being political, that's like a big takeaway for me.
Did that factor into your rankings for this as a piece of art, or are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I gave this two nines, which is just a great score. I'd love to make 2 9s movie, but like this would have, like, the day that I came out of the movie theater, I think this would have been 2 10s. Like this would have been like almost a perfect film.
As soon as I watched Sinners again, one battle after another, I gave it the same rankings Mike did. 9 for watchability, 9 for quality, double 9s, because for me, so much of the editing set the tone. So much of the way that Lockjaw interacted with his wife, like there were so many times where I wanted bad things for people, and then I wanted good things for people, and that's what made me want to keep watching it. And I get to say the word jungle pussy and not have it be in any way out of context, because that's the name she wants to go by. So, hey,
it still feels wrong hearing you say it. Any category here that you want it to win?
Well, you're the guy with him up. What does it have?
Yep.
All right. So obviously, Best Picture. It got nominated for supporting actress for Teyana Taylor.
Okay.
That is the mom. You know that
Perfidia.
It got nominated for Perfidia. Leonardo DiCaprio. It got supporting actor twice. Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn. Sean Penn apparently is the favorite to win, but I actually like Benicio del
was
Toro
fantastic
the most
in this.
of all of those performances. Like he is my favorite,
and I'm a big Benicio fan. So.
And I also like he's also like kind of the coolest character. Like,
he is.
I said to Sarah,
I
said to Sarah afterwards, I'm like, I said something about the movie, and she goes, "Oh, do you think that you would be like Leonardo DiCaprio in that situation, or would you want to be Leonardo DiCaprio in that situation?"
No.
I was like, do I think I would be him? Probably. Would I want to be him? No. The character I would want to be is Benicio del Toro, because from a distance, if you're a character in that movie, from a distance, they kind of look like the same, dumbass, right? But like Benicio del Toro only is using that as a disguise,
which is what makes it great.
And he's in charge. He's so totally in control the whole time. He's so fucking awesome. He's the only character of those 4 nominees that you can like root for as a character. I mean, like Leo's character is a good enough guy, I guess. But like, you're not like, and even Perfidia, like she's damaged because she's arguably been assaulted by Lockjaw,
but you still root.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. But the guy that you're like, oh, that guy's badass is Benicio del Toro.
I enjoyed when they pulled him over and he's opening his shirt like this and like dancing and sashaying back towards them.
Have you had anything to drink?
A few small beers.
Fucking love that. That was probably that was a great scene. I love that scene. It was hilarious.
Like if I'm gonna pick an upset in the best supporting actor, it's probably him.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And we'll get into some stuff with Sinners because of some of my wants for that. But like, I think that Benicio is my favorite of those 5.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and he's like the least likely from what I've heard. It also got nominated for Best Score.
Okay, the score is okay. It's not Sinners.
Screenplay.
No, it's
adapted screenplay. And that's kind of cool. I was watching a predictions thing yesterday, and that was the 2 front runners, not just with us, but with the Academy is One Battle After Another and Sinners. They are in opposing screenplay categories, so they can both win screenplay. One's adapted, one's original. And they were like, a lot of times screenplay is an early indicator, because if you lose screenplay, if either of these loses screenplay, it's possibly a bad sign. But like they can both win, and so you won't know. It's like one of the early predictions. Like we expect either of them to win one or two of the acting categories. Like that stuff's going to be like sprinkled through, but screenplay usually is a strong indicator, and they're like because usually the two front runners are in the same category, and they're not this year. Best casting.
I mean, you got Jungle Pussy.
Is all best casting is all. That's not naming the cast. It's
I know, right. You picked her for the role. Mike, play along.
Yeah, best. I know, and that so that's. I think that's it. Production design.
It was mostly outdoors.
Editing,
what do you mean production
sound?
Design? No. I'm not trying to be pedantic. I really mean like what production design outside of maybe the prisons or the stall bathroom.
The whole scene. The whole scene with.
They had his house.
Okay. Well, yeah, they had his house, but they also have Benicio del Toro's apartment complex, which has the trapdoors and all that stuff.
Sorry.
And then there is there's the whole Arctic snowman survival course to get under the tunnel.
All right. That's okay. Production design. All right.
So let's move on to our last movie, which we've given the game away already. But
don't yawn. Oh, I thought you were yawning, Kim. I was like, Jesus.
No, I was shocked. No, Sinners. I want to talk Sinners.
Good,
let's go.
Because you glazed Sinners, and I want to hear about it.
I loved Sinners. I actually said to Mike right after I finished it, I texted him and I said, this is the first time in many years where I sat from start to finish in a movie and I was like, this is brilliant. Like it was just captivating. And Mike was like, I know, Kim, you don't really like vampire movies, and I'm not a sci-fi vampire type of movie.
No, I know that,
but he was like, they're in it, that type of thing. I was like, but it all works.
Yeah.
Like, even though it has a sci-fi component, everything just meshed together. It was just, for me, just brilliant, just from the music, the acting. If you look at Michael B. Jordan, he does these subtle nuances with each character. Like I was watching a video with the woman who played the one love interest, the mother of the son that had passed. And she was saying one character has a dimple and the other character doesn't. They didn't take that out. That was Michael B. Jordan holding his face in a way where there's no dimple. He wore certain shoes for one guy in a different way, and he held himself, and he did X, Y, and Z. Just those like minutia details that just bring you in is just brilliant. And then that musical scene in the jukebox was just I just sat there in awe going, I would love to see this on a stage. Like this would be great to just watch live performers do this and just like, and I just looked at my husband and I was like, there's no way that this song is not nominated because this is just brilliance in front of me. And so it just was just a movie. I have not seen a movie like that has just made me go, everybody, whether you're my mom, my husband watched it with me, my sisters, whomever, like if you're going to ask me of these 10 movies, which movie do I think you should watch and has something for everybody? I think it's Sinners. Other movies have come along and they've been great, but they put certain pieces in it. Like I was saying with Bugonia, I started going, you're asking for this Oscar nom. You want Best Picture. You've created this movie for that purpose.
I wasn't indignant.
I didn't sit in Sinners and go.
I was indignant when Bugonia did it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But there's a piece to the movie and the telling of the story and the way that it's done where, you could have been asking for that, but I wasn't thinking that.
Fair. Okay.
I was thinking this is bringing me along for the ride of these twins and this backstory. There's a backstory. There's vampires. There's this woman who, albeit looks like she's white, but she's not actually white. And in real life, Haley Steinfeld is actually part black. So she is cast perfectly for this piece. Yep. And so it just brings together just everything as far as I'm concerned to make a great movie from start to finish.
I 100% agree. I think one of my big takeaways is that there's a few people I want to win Oscars. One of the people I want to win something, and he's nominated like 4 times, is Ryan Coogler, because he wrote this movie, directed it, but like when you think about like all the layers, because there is all of what you just talked about, but there's also like the vampires are Irish. Now, if you know anything, Bram Stoker is Irish. There was a book before Dracula, about 3 or 4 years before Dracula, written by an Irish woman. It's largely forgotten because it's about lesbian vampires, and it was written in the 1800s. But that's like, most people consider that the first vampire. So all this lore is pretty much from Ireland. And then when you look at like the fact that when he gets into the thing about you long for the church, you long for the religion, and because black people in the South had Christianity forced upon them. Irish had Christianity forced upon them. There is all these parallels, and it is so brilliantly woven. It doesn't at any point feel like it is, like you said, trying too hard, but it doesn't feel like unnatural either. Like these are things that would come up organically in the context that they do. I really want Ryan Coogler, and I think that it's pretty much a sure thing that he's going to get screenplay, like I said, because he's not up against any of the real competition for the other stuff. But I want him to get something, he's my favorite to win Best Director. I mean, for a whole bunch of reasons, some of them the right reasons, some of them like also like we've had literally every other category of person win except for a black person. We've had women, we've had Asian people, Hispanic people. We've had multiple of all of those, and we've never had a black person.
But the thing is that I look at that, and
also,
I take that with the directing as like, oh, I think he should win. But then I look at it and I go, it's the Academy. Like, as much as I love watching these movies and we talk about it and we've been doing this for years, it's the Academy. Like, so it kind of, not that I count him out, like I would like him to win, but I look at the other people in that category and I'm like, who are we gonna maybe give it to instead of like this particular person? But I would love to see it.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, what they do and they fuck people over with this is, oh, well, it's their time because PTA
deserves
it's his time.
Yeah,
and he deserved it in the past.
He's been nominated so many times.
Make a good enough film.
Let's just
like an end of this conversation.
Right.
If you don't make a good enough film, now I have not watched this as long as you have, or followed it for as long as the both of you. Has this happened often enough that it's the talk before the awards are given out? Like you can already feel, oh, this person's going to get this just because they always got it before, but they made mediocre art and they get it because it's their time. Like that is the silliest purpose for one of these.
No. Oh no, they do all the time. Like actually, you talked about Leonardo DiCaprio. To be fair, The Revenant needed to be better edited. Because it was too long. They had parts that didn't need to be there. That's why I have gripe with that film. Did he act really well in it? Yeah, but like I said, he's Leo being Leo. Do I think that there was other things? I think he should have won for What's Eating Gilbert Grape many, many moons ago and gotten it out of the way. But The Revenant to me felt like it's Leo's time. Like he needs to win at some point because we don't know when he's going to make another great film or a film that's good enough. And so like, so there's that. To
be fair, I'm looking at what he beat. He beat some movies that we're not like almost nothing that we're talking about anymore. So he beat Matt Damon for The Martian, Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. So that's another thing that comes into play here when you're talking about the Oscars is the overdue part, but also the like sometimes there's just better props. So like when I was talking about how what's his face from Train Dreams, like in other years he absolutely should have been nominated if he was up against, but this year has a good crop of best actors. So like you have to keep that in mind too. Like Peter O'Toole was beaten by amazing performances. Like we're talking about The Godfather, one of the, like he was beaten by that. He was beaten by, even though Lawrence of Arabia is one of the all-time like biggest movies ever, right? He was beaten by one of the performances that like is everybody talks about still, which is Gregory Peck in. So like it just depends on what you're up against, and people don't consider that when you're losing or winning. Like there are a lot of performances that wouldn't have won the year that they won, or wouldn't have gotten nominated the year they did if they had been up against any other slot. And vice versa.
Yeah. To be fair, like this year, you look at the nominees, like we've been talking about, it's a great crop of movies. And so you think of like, hey, if Sinners had been in one year and One Battle After Another had been in another year, then we're not having this conversation. We're not going back and forth saying which tweaks one out of the other, or there's these controversies and now I'm thinking of it in a different way, or I rewatched it. We wouldn't be talking about that. We'd be like, hands down, it's this one. Hands down, it's this one. But because it's in this crop of movies with these well acted and well done movies, then it's like you can't even pick. But then there's other years that we've done this, Mike, where I'm like sitting back going, I don't even know if I can pick a favorite. Like these crop of movies is just not. I'm thinking back to when Hurt Locker won. Hurt Locker was a great movie, but that crop of movies that year was not stellar.
No,
it was mediocre at best. And so it was just, and so if you threw one of these movies in that year, we'd be having a different conversation. So I do have to think you have to bring that into consideration. Like there's going to be somebody who goes home that somebody out there is going to be like, how did Sinners beat out One Battle After Another? Or how did One Battle After Another beat out Sinners? But you have to think it's two really good movies going up head to head. And that's what I like to see more often than just being like, oh, we have this one winner.
The one runaway winner and everybody else is kind of I like.
And there are those years where it's like really, really good. Like, so you look at like our first year, No Country for Old Men beats There Will Be Blood. I disagreed with that take, but I wasn't pissed off about it. And same thing with it was last year. I would have chosen The Brutalist over Anora, but it was like an A plus an A against an A plus movie. So you're like not upset about it. Whereas I mean, we weren't doing it yet, but like Crash beating Brokeback Mountain or Saving Private Ryan losing to Shakespeare in Love. There are years where you're like, oh shit. And then there are years where like, well, we had two amazing movies. Like, and they're both, I think that both of those movies, No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood, are still talked about at the same level, roughly. Like one's not forgotten. It's like there are movies where you're like, like Citizen Kane was beaten by How Green Was My Valley. I don't even know what that fucking movie is.
And we've talked about that on cine-men before. This is outside of maybe F1 and Bugonia. Maybe outside of those two, we will be speaking of these in the future. We will. I am confident that the other 8 are going to be talked about in the future, and specifically Sinners. The reason for me that it is ranked so high, again, our highest rated by what? Not actually, our highest rated by not even a half a point, is that all of the times that I thought you're earning this were artistic. They were purposeful. They meant to be in that scene. The one that hit me the most was when we were doing the edits for cine-men for the Sinners episode during Black History Month, when they did the music performance at the juke joint, which, by the way, the guy who plays him is a musician. He is a genuine blues musician and he can act. Like that, such a great purpose. But in the aspect ratio pulls up and opens further when that scene starts and then closes back down as the juke joint is burning down and you just see him there playing on his own. I didn't actually notice that happened when watching it. I only noticed when I was editing it because I got my screen grab and the damn screen went outside of my area. I'm like, oh crap! Wait, that happened in that scene? Like, there's so many tiny, perfect little things that Coogler used that always pushed the art itself, but it's good film craft. And Mike pointed out so many moments where where there was just good use of angles or good use of perspective. And these are not even things that, again, I noticed as just enjoying this film. And the one, my criticism of it is nothing about it is genuinely vampire movie, because when you think of vampire movie, you don't think of this. This is just a good drama that happens to have vampires. This is not Treme. This is not American Horror Story, like vampire, more occult stuff. It's just got characters that happen to be vampires and eat people and bite them. It's like a side thing for me. The conflict could be anything, and it's not such a major part of it.
Yep.
All right, so in order to start wrapping things up, because we're getting a little late, let's the things we want it to win. So let's go through the categories real quick, because this one, it's the most nominated film of all time, so we really need to talk about at least some of the categories. I think we all want it to win Best Picture.
Yes.
Is that fair?
That is correct.
Yep.
Supporting actress is one of the categories that I want it to win. I have not seen Weapons. That's the only nominated performance that I haven't seen. So I'm not going to weigh in against Amy Madigan. I liked the other three performances. I think that so it's Wunmi Masaku, who is and I always get Smoke and Stack name wise confused, but it's the girlfriend that's not what's her face?
It's a girlfriend that's not Haley Steinfeld.
Not Haley Steinfeld.
That's not Haley Steinfeld. And she is awesome in it.
Yes.
I just think she's got more going on than all three of the other performances. Which maybe that's unfair, but she has more character work. She is bigger in the movie. There's a lot there.
Yeah, but then there's also that piece where I said about Michelle Williams. You can have a 5-minute lines, and you just give this performance of your lifetime of this monologue you have, and it's just a piece of the movie that everybody's going to remember.
Best Supporting Actor, Benicio del Toro for One Battle, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Early on, Skarsgård was the front runner. Right now, I think Sean Penn's the front runner.
Yeah,
like I said before, Benicio del Toro's my favorite.
The dark horse in the race.
I'll pick him over Lindo. I will. I love Delroy Lindo, and also the way he did his portrayal of Delta Slim is fantastic. I'll still go Benicio because of the character development. Like you said, he's always that undercover dummy. That is the way he did that. Whereas I just have a love for Delroy Lindo, and that could color more of what his performance was. It was good in this. I don't think it's better than Del Toro in One Battle. No.
This category is one though where I'm I don't care. They're all really good, so it won't bother me. Yeah. And then Best Actor is Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio. Ethan Hawke is the only one I haven't seen in this category for Blue Moon.
Oh, okay.
Michael B. Jordan and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
Jordan.
Michael B. He played he played two different characters. And he played them brilliantly.
Either one of them was
He should get Best Actor, no problem.
That video that I talked about watching this morning, where the guy said Timothée Chalamet is the only character we don't see the vulnerability of. Yeah. He wants Michael B. Jordan to win, and he explained that not only does Michael B. Jordan do the two characters, but the two characters have different vulnerabilities, and he plays them. They have different ways of expressing love and fear and anger, and every emotion is expressed differently between the two brothers.
Because each brother is their own self, and that's what a lot of times when you have one actor playing two roles, you lose that. We didn't lose that. You could tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Between Smoke.
Other than the fact that I can't get their names straight, I know which one I'm looking at the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think that to some extent it will come down to when voting stops, because I think Timothée Chalamet burned a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
But it really depends
that's
on
not going to help the
not,
situation. Right.
No, I actually had seen that he after that interview came out, his numbers, like, it went completely down,
Yeah.
and then Michael B. Jordan went up because people took offense to, you know, him calling out
as well they should.
all the start forms.
The Oscars voting closed on the 5th. So, yeah, that was before that. I don't know how many days before.
Okay.
But still, I mean, it could, that's enough that could affect it. And that's not the reason why he should or shouldn't win. I just think that he should win. Like, Michael B. Jordan should win, but
well, because
best director,
Michael B. Jordan played, again, 2 characters with 2 different journeys.
Yeah.
And main
Timothy
characters.
Chalamet, yes, and Timothy Chalamet, his character never developed. He was the same douchebag from start to the last 2 minutes of the film when he's like, "Oh, I'm a dad now," and I'm like, "I don't even feel for you. I don't even believe you. I believe the second this is over. I believe the second this is over, you're gonna find some new adventure or high you need to get on, and you're going to peace out as soon as you possibly can. You are not a changed man."
Nope. All right, best director. This is another one where I want Ryan Coogler to win, but I won't be disappointed on any given. Like, I think all 5 are really good. It's Hamnet. It's Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Nothing will be disappointing outright, but I do have my favorite is Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Alex, you got a disappointing one?
If
Sentimental Value.
Well, okay. So, yeah, I was about to say, of all of those, if Sentimental Value gets it, y'all weren't paying attention. But if any of the other ones did, I can either understand it, yeah, I get it, or agree with it, no, I would have picked that too, if someone had a gun to my head. I'm so much of the Coogler brush that was on Sinners is why I love that film so much. And the way that he had this epic play out. Hamnet, you had a historical thing to go on. You did. Yes, you acted. Yes, you wrote. Yes, there's a script. But you had a historical event. You just did. This is an entirely fantasy made up world with entirely fantasy made up characters. And at no point did I think you were just yarning on and not tying a knot. So, yeah.
There's a bunch of other categories that it's nominated for, but we'll hit them real quick.
Score.
Score.
I want to hear score.
I'm down, but like score was Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and One Battle After Another, and Sinners. For which one are you saying how to?
No, for all of those. Miles Caton is a musician. He played original music for the film. I know, but he performed original music for the film.
That's a different song. That's best song.
Oh, best. Okay. That's a little different. Score is like background music. Sorry.
I want it to win best original screenplay. I've only seen 3 in that category, but
I'm sorry.
Blue Moon,
I'm sorry. Like, we don't even need to go over that.
Best casting. I do want this to win best casting, but again, there's some big ones. Like, I would be fine with Hamnet, or I'd be fine with One Battle After Another. Best original song. So this one, I think that there is a 50-50 chance it will win, because there is one other song in this category that I think has the other 50. Golden from K-pop Demon
Hunters. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. The same thing.
I'm out. No.
I'm not saying it deserves it. I'm not saying it deserves it. But
that was exactly what I was thinking, Mike.
I think that those are the 2 front runners, and it's sometimes that's a category that wins that it wins for a movie that doesn't win anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, there's a lot of times where like a musical wins that, or like a cartoon wins that. Like, a lot of Disney animated films win that, and they don't get nominated for Best Picture or any of the other categories.
But then I also think of what's in the minds of the people who are voting for this. Of how do we bring in a younger crowd? How do we bring in somebody who may not have watched the Oscars
F1.
because they want to? Yeah, exactly. So that to me, like when you think of that, like I would love the song from Sinners to win, but I
Yeah.
have a hunch that it might go to the K-pop Demon Hunters, which I really wish could get out of my head right
Don't
now.
speak it into existence, please.
I will also say this about when you're watching the Oscars on Sunday. Sometimes when you have a movie that's nominated a fuck ton, and you start to see it winning early in categories that don't matter towards Best Picture, it's not going to win Best
Okay.
Picture. Like when you see categories where movies that aren't even nominated are doing fine in, and
right.
that's there's lots of times when you're like, oh yeah, this movie won Best. Maybe it won Best. Not that costume design doesn't matter, but like movies can win costume design and be nominated for nothing else,
true.
right? So if you see Sinners win costume design, best song, best score,
It might not get Best Picture.
Yeah, best production design. Those can be consolation prizes sometimes. Now, there's also movies that sweep, but I find it really hard to believe that it's going to sweep with 16 nominations.
Yeah.
Like, if that happens, like I actually think that happens, there'll be people pissed off enough that they will rewrite some rules at the Academy.
Oh yeah.
Like I think it's a big enough deal that there will be people being like, we can't. This is boring. Nobody wants to watch this.
Yeah.
And that they'll rewrite rules same way they came up with 10 nominees again.
Wait, again?
So
it used to be, and then wasn't, and then is again.
In the 30s,
okay.
In the 30s and 40s, it was 10 nominees. Well, sometimes it was like 12. If you look at like 1938, which is like the best year ever, it was like 10 or 11.
Oh wow, okay.
As we said, our favorite movie is Sinners. I think all three of us would have picked that as our number one, even if we didn't as a group pick that as our number one. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this episode, this is actually a bonus episode that we do for patrons, but we're letting everybody see as of Oscar morning. But if you want to get in on some of that action, it's $26 a year for the package, and that will let you get all of our episodes. If not, just like and subscribe. You're going to get to see pretty much everything. It'll just be later, and you might miss some of these bonus episodes. Thank you, Kim, for coming on. It was really fun. This was really fun having you on for this episode, and I love when we have a good year where there's a couple for us to kind of know that we both are like, what the fuck, and like still enjoy it, like still not a chore. There's been a couple years where it's been like a real slog. So thank you again, everybody. Like and subscribe. Alex, do either of you have anything to say before we log off?
No, thanks for having me. I can't wait to do this again next year. Hopefully the crop of movies next year will be just as good.
I hope they're just as good. And we plan to be doing cine-men around that time. So we'd be happy to have you back and discuss the hopefully just as good crop that is coming up for 27.